Thank you to Grace, the director of Dionysis and Apollo, and Juliet, the actress in the film. Congratulations on your film being nominated in Nice, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did this come about? Well, where in particular did this film come from? What's the kernel of this origin?
This is actually shot in Paris last year over a 8-week program, experimental workshop of NYU. So everybody studied abroad in Paris from New York, and we basically completed a short film in 8 weeks, a period of time, and casted local actors in Paris, shot it, and finished the rough cut actually as well during the same process. And the concept came off from Nietzsche's essay Dionysis and Apollo, talking about how artists are constantly battling in between the two extremes of art. One is the side of really rational, symmetrical, confined art. The other side is the abstract improvisation of things. And he's saying throughout art history era, we're constantly shifting between the two extremes of the pendulum, and how artists are trying to find the balance between them. And the same idea I basically translated into a triangular relationship between the female character and the two male actors, using it as an analogy between the relationship of art and artists and their triangular relationship. So that was it.
So with the NYU, it says part of the NYU program.
Yes.
So does that mean that, without digging too deep, just a general question is, do they part fund it, or how does that all work? Is it fully funded? Or do you have to present it to them as a working project? How exactly does that?
Yes. So the goal of the course is you need to make a short film, experimental short film out of this by the end. And we do have allotments, including film equipment such as the Sony FS7 camera.
Right, so they've got equipment you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and slight amount of stipend, that's enough to cover some location if they require payments. It honestly doesn't cost much production-wise. Location, a lot of them are exterior, and for indoors we can negotiate with the owner to make sure we're students, we don't really we can't really be able to afford all of those amount you are charging. So people are understanding and very supportive in Paris, and all worked out pretty fine. And I would say it's mostly sponsored by the school. And yes, definitely we need to show the professor and peer students for critiques and workshop by the end of it. That's how the program works. Yeah.
And how did you? I mean, obviously I know you're in the film, but how were you cast? How did you introduce? How were you introduced to Grace? How did that happen?
By a casting on internet. There's a website that mostly artists in Paris use, and she knew it. I don't know how you found it.
Do you have like a Skype clip on there, or something you can view? Is that how it sort of works?
It's an official casting website.
Right,
in the States we have Backstage
and
Breakdown
okay.
Express. So Cineast is one
basically
of them.
I have a, do you say annonce?
Yeah, announcement.
And
Right, okay.
I saw it and I liked it. I found it kind of original and appealing. So I answered back to her, and then we chatted, and then I went to do the casting.
The audition.
The audition.
And obviously I know there's a reason you wanted to shoot in France, in Paris, and have a French cast, but at any point when you were building up to make this film, were there options? Did you think, maybe we'll shoot in Canada in an old French? It was always in your mind, but no, so you know what I mean. It's a compromise. No one wants to compromise, of course, but
it wasn't. The location choice has nothing to do with budget restraint or anything. It was really about the same time I had the idea, and I happened to be selected into the program.
Right.
So, and Paris came out perfectly as the location for the story, because I need both genre of arts to show the story. So they just came together at the same time. Actually, it wasn't a choice. It wasn't like I have to make it in Paris kind of thing. It's just I am in the program now, and I do have this idea ready, so I'm making it in Paris.
So once you get the sign off, that's the end. Pretty much the end, or the start of the process, the end of the process. But once you get approved and you're part of the program, then that's fine. The location is not a necessary part, or is a necessary part. You don't have to move things around. And did it all go according to plan?
Pretty much. Yeah, there's nothing crazy except for like there are exterior locations, there are like permissions when you get from the park ranger in general that we were not aware of because of like language barrier earlier. But then it was okay. It wasn't violating anything. It was just people coming in to like remind us, oh, certain area you have to avoid, not to be included in camera. But then we adapt them fine, and we also adjust the schedule a little bit. So we came back the second day to a different park that the local actors know could be better choices, and then we just did alternatives for those specific
Because we knew the city very well. Because we
Of
live
course,
it.
yeah, you live there, yeah,
We could tell her, well, I know some place that is kind of the same, but we won't have any trouble, and it will be easier. So
Yeah.
we kind of change it, things like that, but by keeping what she wanted to see. You know, what kind of image she wanted to have.
So when you've got this, when you're working from the script, did you at any point you said, yeah, okay, this, would you mind? Do you think I can say it this way, or did you rigidly stick to? Or you're quite free? Because I know some directors might say, well, actually, you know, this is my script. This is the script we have. This is exactly how we're going to do it. But did you have any kind of free reign on it?
You give a
Pretty
lot
much
of
go.
freedom.
Yeah, we had a lot of improvisation.
Yeah,
because it's experimental.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it wasn't a structured narrative.
But
Yeah.
but
But
she,
even so, you must have had a working module to refer to. I don't know how much of that you referred
But
to.
you know, she really told me about her concept, about the story before. That's what I liked, and I kind of like eated it, like so it was there. It was in my imagination, and then she leave us completely freedom in the scene, just saying about what the character is feeling right now, about what might happen in his mind, in her mind. And so with that, then she lets us do kind of what we want, and then she tries to make us adapt to what she would like, but with a lot of with a lot of freedom.
And have you worked like that before? Is this the first time you've had that kind of concept to work to?
No, I've been with a lot of directors that are scared of actors.
Really?
Yeah, kind of not scared, but really they don't know how to.
Apprehensive, is that a better word?
Yeah, it's just like do this, but they're not really they don't feel really good.
Connecting.
Yeah, really free in the talking and everything, and then to make you work well. Sometimes it's hard, but I feel like Grace, we had kind of cooperating. There was no hierarchy.
Yeah.
There was. It was just all together. It was, and because we were giving you advices as well of the places and everything,
Right.
it was more like a crew working together, not
Right.
the director and the actor and a whole space between all the two of them. But I had all of the great experiences, but I like that for this freedom.
And with you, Grace, I know from the editorial and obviously where we've spoken before, I suppose, how can I put this? I don't necessarily mean what's your grand plan. That's not what I'm trying to drive at. But I know that you've got things that are sort of bubbling away in the background, and you've got sort of ideas. I mean, what's next? For you? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what's the next plan? The next couple of ideas you have?
Okay.
I mean, are you working on anything now?
Yeah, definitely. So right after our Nice IFF, I'm actually going to Cannes
Yeah.
for the short film corner,
Yeah.
screening my documentary short, Honor and Heaven Are Equal. That's actually my first piece in film school, and it's just lucky enough they actually like it, and now I'm screening there. So it'll be a great opportunity to know more people and filmmakers, you know. Just back in April, I shot another narrative short film, about 15 minutes long. It's called Everyone is Chocolate. It's going to be online later down the road because we want to release it as a web series pilot. It's about a freshman in college. He's having chocolate addiction, so stories about
Sounds
him,
great.
Yeah, battling his addiction and coping with his past relationship that basically banned him from eating chocolate because the same day as he broke up, he had a root canal surgery. So every time when he smells chocolate, he goes back to the bad memory of tooth decay and breakup at the same time.
And did you say this is a web series?
Yes, it's only a pilot now.
But it's really intriguing because, again, a lot of filmmakers I've spoken to, they've really, this morning I've had a couple that they've gone into this sort of field where they're doing the web web series.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a reason. I mean, what's particularly pulled you? I know that the field is changing and what we had before, and video on demand and content creation has all changed. But I mean, what advantage do you? I mean, what's really pulled you into that?
So why did I choose web series?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I know. I suppose, I mean, Netflix, I guess, is. I mean,
It is.
you know, it is. But what's the advantage over the more traditional terrestrial broadcasting or even satellite broadcasting you're sort of drawn to?
Right. So, I mean, for my generation, from the audience perspective, we really just like spend most of the time watching things online, on demand, through streaming, stuff like that, more often than sitting there waiting for a network to screen things and wait in between commercials for that.
Yeah.
Although we still follow good shows such as Game of Thrones and whatever, and we still do that.
But the audience shift, that is falling. Everyone knows
Yeah,
that.
we drift to online so much more easier, and then sites are craving for content, not only for branded content, but also like commercial sites who are starting to release web series narrative sections on their site to increase viewership. And also the story or the Edward Chocolate, the series itself, it's shaped in the form of 7 minutes or 8 minutes each episode and kind of 10 episodes per season. So
it's really something, vignettes, is that what you call it?
Exactly. Vignettes of the character's life.
Yeah.
It's not like ginormous biopic of a long linear thing. And that's why we choose online, short duration content release online. And that's also more targeting toward the young audience our age. Basically, 16 toward 30, audience between 16 and 30. So that's why we're doing that. And also, what we're exploring through this specific short is how do we bring in the cinematic appreciation, cinematic storytelling into web content. Because usually when people think of web series, it's just like, oh, we shoot it on iPhone DSLR and then we just two people talking, we can make it a show. But then what we're trying to do here is we really make it as like a thesis film of, college film students graduating.
Right.
And how to tell a story in the most refined way possible and keep it continue, making sure the quality of the episode, each of them are as refined as the pilot. So we're going to see how it comes out. And another thing for online is also it's easier to hit international audience because regardless of some censorship rules in maybe in Asian countries that you cannot cross over.
Yeah, of course.
But then if you work out on partnership in terms of distribution and release, you will be able to show your films on their sites locally. Maybe in France too, because one of our characters' family background is her mom is like a French person. So like that would be great too. And a lot of our crew members are French.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it's interesting. Just the fact going into network, you will gonna be dealing with limits on contract and specific rollout schedule planned by the programming. Versus for online release, you get to plan out your rollout schedule more actively and based on the analytics of your viewers each week, making adjustment right away.
What to fit that, yeah?
Yes.
So I suppose, use the advantage because it's, you could be potentially tailoring it to a part of an audience that's not necessarily the same as the next part. That's completely different from aiming to, say, North American audience.
Yeah.
So the audience you might have in, say, in Asia or Europe or South America, you can adjust it to fit their sort of viewing habits.
Yes.
That's the right way to describe
That's
it.
a big thing too.
And what's the worst part about being a filmmaker? I always go for the positives, but there must be
Worst
something. Let me change that. The hardest part. I don't say the worst part, but the hardest part.
I guess I don't really have weekends. That's all. Maybe it's because
None of
I'm
us
in
do.
school. Because Monday to Friday you're in school doing classes, and the only time you have to work on projects is over the weekend, spring break, holiday.
Yeah.
When everyone's out.
I know, great. I'm with you. I know how tough it is. I'm working on weekends. I don't work.
Yeah, and when I was shooting the Edward thing in April, it was school time. So I skipped 5 days of class. And then I really just have to stay at home and make up all my French homework for like a whole day afterwards. So it was horrible. But that's so far the only downside. Maybe after I graduate, I also potentially see unless I have a production company myself, I can bid on gigs actively. I will not be able to manage my schedule like out of my own will because it's a collaborative process. You need to take care of the cast schedule, other crew members' schedule, location schedule, a lot of things going on. So you can't really dictate your timing at all.
And I'm going to ask you the opposite now. So what's the best part of being an actress?
The best part?
Yeah.
Holy. Oh, that's a hard question.
Well, you've gone into it for a reason. There's a reason you do it.
Of course. Well, the
Sorry,
fun.
I should have put it on silent. Sorry.
The
That
fun,
won't
I
be
guess.
picked
It's okay.
Yeah.
The fun.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing that for more than 10 years now, and not professionally, but as a really as a hobby. And for me, it's a necessity. It's like I have to do it.
Could you do anything else now? Because I've often thought
I thought about
filmmakers find it like a drug. Well, they're acting. No, but seriously.
Yeah,
no,
well,
it's an
I thought about it, but it would be hard because if I was not doing it, even if it's super hard, even if it's you're always in a doubt, you have up and downs a lot, and psychologically sometimes it's complicated too. But if I wouldn't do it, I would feel empty.
Well, has there ever been a role? You don't have to go into details. But has there ever been a role you've been offered, and for whatever reason you thought, I can't do this? Has it ever happened?
Of what they asked me to do?
No. Any film role, have you, or any part?
Oh, I see it, and then
You go, you've been offered it, and you've gone, well, hang on a minute, I can't do this for whatever reason.
Oh.
And if so, how the struggle to turn something down? Have you turned anything down?
That's a good question. I'm wondering, like, if when I saw a movie and
have you ever gone for a part?
Counterpart, what's
Have you been offered something?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm
And
wondering.
you've gone, no, I can't do it for whatever reason.
Sometimes, like the two last films that I did was last summer, and I was naked in it. And before that, I thought that I couldn't maybe do it if it's not very professional and everything. But in fact, that I was. I'm posing a lot for art classes.
Right. So that helped, I guess.
So that helped because
Yeah.
it was easy. And each time I had to know, for example, the situation and why we're doing it. Like it doesn't have to be free.
It has to in the context
Exactly.
of what, yeah.
So that's for naked part, for example. But sometimes when I see it's unprofessional on the script, or I see it's a bit vulgar. Do you say vulgar?
It's not necessary.
Not necessary. I'm wondering about it. I'm wondering if it's really art that's important to me. If like the director has really an idea, a point of view, or if it's just like that. You know?
Yeah.
And usually, even if something is kind of weird or original, and I'm into it because I see the point of view of the director. It's like something. It's I don't know. It's intense and direct, and then I want to follow. But when it's not fully assumed, then I'm doubting too if it's crazy stuff, you know. But I'm doing more theaters than films, and the question arrives also for theater. You know.
Because of course that's something you might have to deal with in the future.
Yeah.
I guess you might. Let's say for an example, you've come up with this idea for a great script, and there might be a scene in it which is difficult, but it's still necessarily the story. And when I had this idea filmmaker I interviewed in London a couple of weeks ago, and it's a film competition here, No Woman's Face, remember? And I asked him about, there's a scene, I don't know if you've seen it, but I asked him how you managed to get the actors to get some new scenes in it, and it is an integral story, it's a great story, and he said it was really difficult to do, or not difficult to do, it was difficult because you've actually hit it right on the head. He said you've got to make sure that you've got why it's necessary to story. It was, but it must be a very difficult thing conceptually to have to think, well, okay, this is really part of the story, but we've got to do it in such a meticulous way that people are buying into it. I'm guessing you haven't come up across that problem, but I suspect it will happen one day.
Yeah, well, I mean, the actor-director relationship is very much like the director needs to have a really specific objective, motivation to feed them so they can give you a performance. Otherwise, they're disoriented. Like, why do you call the director? You need to give them direction. Like, it's obvious. And you were asking me, have I ever turned down anybody, or was that? The
Well, actually, it was to Julia, but I suppose it's to you. Well, no, it applies to you. I mean, if there's anything you've been accepted for and you've gone yeah, and then looked at it and said, actually, it's no way, or is there something you've been sent and you've immediately thought no way? Has that happened to you?
Yeah. Well, you mean in terms of casting, choosing actors? Or
Anything,
okay.
casting, or could be actually being involved in creating a film.
Casting wise, it's very instinctive. I don't even know how do I. Sometimes I just knew the person would work out for the character. And honestly, another side note is the working relationship between the director and the actor is so much more important than like the skill or the craft level.
There must be
Well,
total
you still
trust.
need
Trust.
that.
It's got to be total trust.
Because at certain level, when everybody's good actor, when everyone's good on point on training, it's really the fact of who click with which director to make the story work. If they have a bad dynamic going on to communicate, I mean, it's not going to work ever. And then in terms of being turned down or turning something down, I guess again similar to what she said, when you don't understand the purpose and the goal of the script, or like when you see a performance from an actor that's purely to showing off what he or she acquired in the skill in his pocket instead of what we need in the story, that's something definitely like a no-no too.
Yeah.
I can't include it, even though it's great. I can't integrate it into my work. So you have to give it up like very sadly, but like when it doesn't work out for the whole, you just have to give out that one little part. So
Okay.
that's very much like that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.